What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel and welcome to a brand new video. And as you guys can see, I am very comfortable wearing a bathrobe and I got my cup of coffee. Good morning to all of you who live in the United States, and for those who live overseas, I'm sure it's late afternoon or late at night, so good night and good afternoon. So I figured I would do a movie review for you guys on this early Tuesday morning. And I'm going to be reviewing the Nickelodeon film Zoey 102. So, what can I say about this movie that hasn't been said? That it's full of cringe. There's a lot of cringe worthy scenes. At times, I feel like those scenes really overpower the film. Sometimes when you're watching the film, it's like cringe after cringe after cringe. And mind you, this movie is an hour and like 46 minutes or so it's almost a 2 hour film. So yeah, just keep in mind that if you decide to watch this movie, just know that it's close to 2 hours and that it's going to be full of cringy moments. Now, the story itself is pretty decent. We have Logan and Quinn who are finally getting married. And if you're familiar with the series, you know how their relationship has always been. And, Zoey gets, of course, invited, but she is also the maid of honor. And her life has not been the best. She broke up with Logan. I believe from what the story states is that not too long after the events of the series finale, they went to Hawaii and things did not go so well. They broke up, and after so many years, they kind of just, moved on with their life. But you do find out that Logan is the best man, so this puts more pressure on, Zoey to not only kind of, you know, fix the things between her and Chase, but to, kind of fix everything with everybody else because she's distanced herself from everybody after this breakup. That, everybody else gets together and she doesn't, and they really haven't seen her in so long. So this is kind of her opportunity, but at the same time, when she realizes that everybody, has that plus one and things like that, she decides to hire an actor to pretend to be her Australian surgeon, Hemsworth cousin boyfriend, which is, I would say, is pretty entertaining. His character, the actor who plays this character, is pretty entertaining. He really plays the part of, trying to pretend to be this boyfriend that she's made up, and he's added a few things, and I thought that was pretty great. And people start to really like him, which I thought was pretty cool. I do like the fact that we kind of get an idea of what everybody's been up to. So I believe Mark is the character, and I can't remember the character's name, but she was the one that had the lisp, and then got hit by the car, and then she lost it. I can't remember her character's name, but her and Mark are married. He's a producer for her podcast. She does like this Nancy Grace, you know, investigation type, whodunit podcast type of thing, and she's like the #1 podcast in the world. And throughout the film, they're trying to figure out this case of some sort, which is pretty entertaining. Michael is a music producer, which is pretty cool that, he did something with music. Chase is a teacher, which I thought was cool. You do get a little reference to the brother of Zoey. The actor couldn't make, I don't know if the actor was invited or he just had maybe like scheduling conflicts. There was no mention when I did some research. Excuse me, but they did make references to her brother. There's one scene where Quinn's mom asks Zoey about her brother, and she states that, her brother's doing really well. He's got 2 kids and then has twins on the way, which I thought was a really nice reference. Excuse me. And Victoria Justice is not in this film. There was apparently scheduling conflicts for her to be able to make it, but she is referenced. And there's a few other characters that are referenced in this movie, so it was really nice that they didn't not mention them at all, which can be frustrating at times when it comes to movies. So it was really nice to at least hear what some of the characters that weren't present in this film, at least be mentioned or find out what their life's been since the series. So I do like that. Um, you know, so Zoey, she's like this. I want to say she's kind of, in a way, she's like this television producer or assistant, something like that. And her job isn't the greatest. Her boss is a complete ass. Um, and she's trying to get this promotion. She doesn't get it. She just feels like she's not being valued. And then she has this crazy idea to balance her job and this wedding because her boss wants her there. And the funny thing is, like, she works on this like reality show, like this love reality show, like kind of like The Bachelor. And the guy that they have for the show is just an idiot. He is just, I guess in a way you could say they're stereotyping the surfer Californian, oh cool, that's right, kind of thing, because he can't do things on his own. So Zoey has to kind of be the voice of reason. There's one scene where, like at the beginning, he's talking to the contestant and he doesn't know what to say. So she's kind of has to write things down or kind of lip things to him so he can say it. And it's ridiculous. And of course, with this wedding and Chase being there, this gives her the opportunity to kind of work things out with Chase. And yeah, the story's decent, but like I said, there's a lot of things that are really cringy, and it just makes you think like, we got this over literally a Ned's Declassified reboot. If you guys aren't familiar with the Ned Declassified podcast that the 3 main stars from the series do, they actually pitched a Ned's reboot. I can't remember exactly what the reboot was going to be. I don't know if it focused on just life in general or focused on the characters being in college of some sort, but they wanted to pitch a reboot. I believe it was Paramount, and they were denied. And instead, they went with it was Zoey 102, and the reviews for Zoey have not been that great. A lot of cringy moments, and if you read a lot of articles, it's going to tell you that movie was just full of cringe. And I have to agree, it was. I feel like there was a few things that could have been done a little bit better. I feel like they really should have just looked at the story and maybe did some minor tweaking to it, because what we got, I just feel like at times is a mess. Yes, it had moments where I was laughing, and there was some nice nods to the series and some flashbacks that I liked. I liked that we kind of get little backstories on everybody without having to really put a full detail into it. But just a lot of the cringy moments were so annoying. Me and my sister, when we watched the film, we actually had watched Monster High 2 before then, which I have a review for the Halloween Horror. And after we got done with Zoey 102, my sister was like, I think we should have watched this one first, then Monster High 2. And she's right. That would have gotten the taste of the just cringe out. And the cringe is so bad, it gets stuck in your head. Like after we watched the film, I just cannot get the cringy moments out of my head. It was terrible. So I wish I could say more about this movie. I would say just avoid it altogether. But if you're a fan of the series and you had enjoyed the series or watched it and you want to at least give this movie a try, give it a try. I can guarantee you, by the time you're done with it, you're gonna realize that it was something. Um, I think they could have done better. I feel like at times the movie was rushed because there's times where I feel like the movie is all over the place, and I didn't like that. And it was just, and it felt like Zoe was just a wuss. It's like she couldn't stand up for herself at times in this film, especially when it came to her character and her boss's character. The character that the boss that she works for. It just was a mess, man. I'm glad I got to watch it, but I'm disappointed, because it was like they could have done better. I mean, the series itself was cringy, but it wasn't so bad, And those episodes, I think, were only like 30 minutes compared to an almost 2-hour movie. They could have done better. And the fact that the more I keep thinking about it, it's like, man, we got this over a Ned's Declassified reboot. And I feel like hopefully maybe we will get that Ned's Declassified reboot after the terrible, terrible release of this. But who knows what will happen. But like I said, I'll at least give it a shot. I feel like it's at least worth a watch for those who may have been a fan of the series. But yeah, I just could not. If you've never seen the series and you wanted to see this one, I just recommend don't. Go on YouTube, find some clips. I'm sure you'll find them. Yeah, man, this movie just was god awful. If there's movies that are similar to this, I can't think of any at the moment. Maybe The Bubble. If you guys ever seen that one, I did a review of that one when it came out, not last year, but I believe the year before. That's the one with oh man, who's in that movie? It's got Pedro Pascal and a few other actors. It's where they make the movie. They're making a movie. It's like like the 23rd sequel of a dinosaur film, and COVID hits, and they're all quarantined into this like giant hotel, and they gotta film this movie, and they don't want to. You guys all know what I'm talking about. That movie had moments where it was funny, but was a god awful film. Just and it was almost 2 hours, and it was way too long. Um, but yeah, that I think that's the like worst movie I've seen recently. So from that then till now, those are pretty much I haven't really watched a film that has been that bad. But nonetheless, I don't want to drag this video too long. Thought I was gonna burp. Excuse me. There we go. But yeah, wish I could say more, but I hope you guys enjoyed this little review for Zoey 102, and definitely, give it a thumbs up if you want. Giving me a thumbs up definitely helps. Comment, let me know what your thoughts are if you did see this movie. I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and before I let you guys go, if anybody does hit the dislike button, don't even worry about hitting the dislike button. Just let me know in the comment section below what can be improved, or what you instead of like disliking the video, kind of put what you didn't like about the video. I think that would be the best thing, because then that helps me improve. And with a lot of YouTubers out here, I think we rather prefer people giving us opinions rather than disliking our videos, because it helps us improve our videos. So I think that's the proper and best way to go with, at least in my opinion. But nonetheless, thank you guys so much. I am Film Talk with Mikey, and until next time, guys, we'll talk films.